Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lace Covered Skies. We're here today to talk more about printing on fabric. Now in my last video, I'm so confused with the order of when I upload things because I do record ahead of time. But in the last video where I talked about printing on fabric, I think I mentioned that I wanted to try layered printing on fabric. And so I have printed some things from Mixed Media Minnesota. This is my design team project for Mixed Media Minnesota. It's just the perfect kind of image for layer printing, which is something that I've done in the past but on paper. And so today I wanted to do it on fabric, and I'm going to show you some of these vintage fabrics that I chose to layer print on, as I'm going to show it to you before they're printed on. So this is the original fabric. I have some of these. I went ahead and I cut a bunch of them, and if you want to see how I print on fabric, I will try to remember to link it down below, but I have a video where I show you how I print on fabric. And just take a lot of precautions whenever you print something strange in your printer, which this would be considered strange. Take all the precautions of making sure everything is smoothed down and the edges are really straight and everything before you print. But I will link that video down below. But this is, so I tore a bunch of fabric to just set aside for this purpose, and this is one of them. I chose, I believe all of these are vintage fabrics, and this might be like a curtain or something like that. But these are fabrics that I'm not completely in love with, yet I think the botanical background would do well with another image printed on top of it. So I chose this fabric. This is before printing, as it is originally. Let me show you this one. These are, I think the first three are vintage sheets. So they're still really pretty on their own, but I just wanted to add a little something extra. And then I had this one. All right. So now I am going to show you the after. And this is not layered. This is just one of Mixed Media Minnesota's digital prints. I will link them down below. So this is the before. And this is the after. So it's this image. I know this isn't the full image, but it's this image printed on top of this fabric. So we have this. I think it looks so pretty. You can't really tell that there's a difference between what was printed and what was the original fabric, I don't think. I think it blends in really well. Then we have this fabric right here. This is the no printing, and then I printed on top of it, and I think this one is, I mean, it literally looks like that's just how it came. And that's why I love these digital prints so much, because I'm like this type of person. I like writing. I like text in the back. And then we have, so as you can see, you can make so many different variations once you master your printer, which is not hard at all for me, in my case, because I've never had a problem with it. But once you know that your printer can do this, you can do so much. This is so beautiful, printed on top of this. I mean, this is pretty anyways. It's very simple and refreshing, but when you add this print on top of it, it just makes it really interesting. And then I also just wanted to show you what other things I printed from them. You've seen me use this kit if you watched my mini lapbook videos, and this time it's just on fabric, and it turns out super cool on fabric because it feels, I don't really know how feed sack feels, but this kind of feels like it because it just, I don't know, there's like writing on it, the torn edges. I chose to use a cream colored fabric. And I believe, oh, these are just some others from Mixed Media Minnesota, but without layered printing. So this is with layered printing, and this is without. Both beautiful. It's just a different look depending on what you're going for. And this is a few of their other ones. I might have shown this in a previous video. I love text with images. That's my absolute favorite. And then I decided to print out some like seed packet images, and I love it. I love the feel in my hands. It's just really cool. All right, but I thought that I want to show you what I've done with some of these fabrics. So I'm just separating out the ones that I have already printed on. Okay. So I want to make tabs for these, like this one. I just want to add a little bit of a tab, and this is this fabric. But you see how it just looks so interesting, like that little bit of writing. So that's what I want to do for all of these tabs. So, I mean, all of these cards. Sorry. All right. So I think I'm just going to start measuring the height. I want it to be that height because it worked out really well. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and make a whole bunch of these in this size. So I'm just folding them to the size that I want. And I'm going to just cut a little bit so that I can tear the fabric. This one's going to be a little bit longer, but that's fine. Let me see what the width would be. So it go to about there. So let's go ahead and measure all of those. And there's going to be one that's a little bit longer, but that's fine because I have some larger cards. All right. I think I will tear them at another time, but I did want to make some cards with some of these layered printing, the layer printed fabrics. So let me see if I can get an example really quick. Okay, I'm just going to grab it really quick. All right. I meant to grab that before hitting record, but I'm just going to, so I have a bunch of these cards right here. And at one point in time, I think this was 2011, I did a bunch of these, but I want this type of card, this size. So I'm gonna start cutting the fabric, or not cutting, I think I am gonna tear the fabric. And I don't know if I want to keep this script on here. There is a piece of tape right there. I might just sew it on like this and do a tag like that. I haven't quite decided, but let's see which way would be better, more economical. I think that's a better way to do it. So just cutting a sample right there, and there as well. Let's see how many rows. Let's just keep that like that for a little bit and see how it looks. All right, I'm just gonna cut for the other side. And I'll go ahead and tear one. I typically kind of go like outside when I tear fabric just because it's so dusty. I'm just moving my water because I don't want it to get dusty inside my... Okay, this fabric is a little bit harder to tear. I don't know what it is about the weave of it. Okay. So let me try cutting like this. I'm not 100% sure how I want these tags to be. So we're gonna experiment. I think what I'm gonna do is just cut a whole bunch of these and then go to my sewing machine and sew all the way around, and then have this be the back, I think. Yeah. And I have a whole stack of fabric to do it with. So I think I'm going to do a sample and see if I really love it. And then I will continue. But I think I'm going to shut off the camera and probably work on these. I think these turned out really charming. I've already used some of them. But yeah. So if you give this technique a try, the layered printing on fabric, I would love it if you tagged me on Instagram. My name is the same over there. It's Lace Covered Skies. And I would love to see what you come up with. But if you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos. Thank you so much for being here today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye everyone.